Hey guys, I'm Puyan Darian. I'm an immigration attorney. Green cards are what I do all day, every day. And today I just wanted to create an updated video. I know it's been a while regarding the application process for permanent residence, a green card, right? So I've done a lot of videos on these discussing different topics, this and that in the past. But this video is gonna have a slightly gloomier mood to it given recent policy changes, right? So on February 24th, a Trump administration policy went into effect after there was a preliminary court injunction, and I'm not gonna get into the details, but long story short, as of February 24th, which you may know from a previous video, the new public charge rule went into effect. Since then, I've had the pleasure of completing many of these applications, and let me tell you, it is an absolute nightmare. When you read the form instructions, if your head doesn't explode, you're a better man than I. Or let me just tell you, it's taking me 20 hours to prepare one full adjustment of status application between the family petition, the supplement, green card, advanced parole, work permit, affidavits of support, assuming there's only one, and then the public charge form and all of the supporting documents. These packages that I'm mailing out are up to 300 pages long with supporting documents. It's really becoming unmanageable. I can't even imagine trying to do this as a non-attorney. So in my previous videos, I said, if you read all the instructions, you could do this yourself. You'll probably be fine if your case is super clean. At least consult with an immigration lawyer so that you can get an opinion, so that you don't end up in a worse situation than had you not applied. I kind of take all of that back. I'm not sure whether it's advisable to even attempt this without an immigration lawyer. And the reason I say that isn't really to invoke fear or scare you. I mean, you can give it a shot, but just in the last week alone, 3 people have hired us through our web portal because they schedule consults through our website, and they've told me that their applications were denied, and now I have to fix it. And so if my original fee was X, now I need to redo everything and make sure it's consistent with their old paperwork. So it's going to be X plus $500 or $1,000 or whatever, however amount of time it takes for me to make sure the mistakes they made on their old application and the new application are consistent and explainable, so that we don't end up in the absolute worst case scenario where there's a fraud determination made, where at the eventual USCIS interview, where they're pretty much interrogating you and your spouse or whomever is the petitioning relative. They don't ask you, so on your old application, you said that you never violated your non-immigrant status. On your new one, you're saying you did. Were you lying then, or are you lying now? And I've seen this happen. And then depending on how my client responds, when I prepare the applications, we explain it in the paperwork. And then I spend hours preparing the clients before the interview for any possible disqualifying questions that could come up to maintain a high grant rate and success rate, increase the chance as much as possible. But, if things go south, that application will be denied. And when it's denied, it is more likely than not going to be referred to immigration court, where it's not fatal. But if there was a fraud determination made and now your case is sent to be heard in front of an immigration judge, a lawyer that was going to previously charge you, for example, $3,000, now you're looking at deportation defense litigation. So you're going to not only have to repay all the government fees, which by the way are probably going to increase in the very near future, but you're also going to have to pay for deportation defense litigation, and could easily cost you, I don't want to throw numbers out there, but $5,000-$10,000 depending on the lawyer and the amount of work that's being done, in addition to repaying the government filing fees. So as much as I want to empower people to do things by themselves and avoid paying unnecessary legal fees, this is one of those situations where you really need to carefully do a cost-benefit analysis and say, like, look, the government filing fees now are $1,760. They're probably going to increase in the near future. And in the off chance that this case, or, in the chance that this case is denied, I'll not only have to pay the new fee or increased fee again, but now I'll have to pay a lawyer even more than it would have originally cost to pay a lawyer, because he or she or whomever will have to prepare the paperwork and do additional work by comparing it to the old paperwork and try to fix any inconsistencies, assuming they're even fixable. All right, so now that you're sufficiently terrified, let me just say, it's not the end of the world. Here's what I would recommend. Look at the forms. The forms are I-130, I-130A, I-485, 765, 131, 864, and 944. Write those down. Look up all the forms. You can just Google them. Read the instructions, right? Go through it. Prepare it to the best of your ability. And then I really recommend, at the very least, schedule a consultation with a trusted attorney, and before you even meet with them, create a list of questions that you were not certain how to answer, like on form I-944, the public charge form, which has made this whole process a complete nightmare. You don't know how to answer question 5 on page 6, like, how do I do this? I applied for a public benefit. Was this a public benefit? Should I disclose it? Whatever. So, this is doable. You shouldn't be scared, but you should be cautious, right? So definitely take a look at the paperwork if you're considering doing this by yourself, and create a detailed list of questions you're not sure how to answer. Because making a mistake at this point, given the current policy that's in place, if an application is denied, it will almost certainly result in what's known as an NTA, a notice to appear. And that's a notice to appear in removal proceedings, which is deportation, immigration court. And if that happens, now, you tried to save some money in the beginning, and now you're going to end up paying 5 times as much for something that has less of a chance of prevailing, of succeeding. So, don't take this the wrong way. I just want you to be cautious. And this video supersedes all my prior videos, so take it for what it's worth. All right, so now for the good news. All you have to do is go to my website, darianlaw.com, click book a consultation, pick a slot, and it automatically shows up on my calendar. Wake up in the morning and I say, oh, hey, I have a consultation with Paul at 3 o'clock. Paul and I, at 3 o'clock, will go through the entire process from start to finish. Look for any red flags. I'll answer all the questions which he may have. And then when he decides to proceed, I'll send him a questionnaire. Then I'll use all the information in the questionnaire to create a complete list of documents for him to scan and upload to me, or mail, or however he wants to do it. We typically prefer Dropbox or Google Drive, whatever, it doesn't matter. At that point, I'll have 10 days to completely finalize the application with supporting documents, Like I said, it could be hundreds of pages long. Some of these I'm mailing out in medium size flat rate boxes. No joke. And then we go through 3 rounds of revisions until we have a final package. I mail it to USCIS, and now Paul's adjustment of status application is pending. He doesn't have to worry about being removed from the US. You know, he'll be eligible for employment authorization and get his work permit and social security card a few months later. And I'll be responsible all the way until Paul has his green card in his hand or a final decision is made on the case. You can, you know, and if you don't want to go on my website, you could always just shoot us a text or call us, 914-885-3961. We actually prefer text messages. You know, we are guaranteed to get back to you if you shoot us a text message. And then after everything is pending, I'm responsible all the way until the end. You're never going to see surprise fees or anything like that. I'll respond to all requests for evidence. I'm the primary contact. And then before the interview, I'm going to be working with Paul and his spouse on the interview prep for hours. You know, oftentimes I even give clients my cell phone number, which I probably shouldn't, just so they feel completely relieved at that point. And if they're freaking out the night before, they just text me or call me and we'll go through it so that they're completely prepared for the interview. So remember, again, my name is Puyan Darian. I'm the green card guy. And, you know, whether you use my office or not, I'm not really trying to sell myself here. I'm just trying to provide information. At least watch my other YouTube videos so you know what to look for when you're choosing an attorney. You know, this is obviously not legal advice, but I really want you to have the best chance of success when you apply, especially given the current political climate. If you're considering doing something like this, applying for permanent residence, please do it before there are more changes to the immigration policy. I really wish you the best with everything, and thank you so much for watching my video.